Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between a TGW versus XlorD. This game taking place here on Springtime version 1.1. On the top left-hand side of the map, we have TGW spawning as the blue Night Elf. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom right, we have XlorD spawning as the teal Night Elf. Night Elf versus Night Elf, different shades of blue taking place here on Springtime. Gonna go ahead and speed things up to a little bit faster, so we get straight into the action. Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror matches often have different types of heroes, and then your standard Keeper of the Grove and Archers, and instead it is going to be a Keeper of the Grove going up against a Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter very good at shutting down enemy heroes, while the Keeper of the Grove, is generally able to creep out at a much faster rate and also put down pressure. Waiting for that Keeper of the Grove to pop on out. There he is, ready to go to the 2-minute mark. Yeah, 2-minute mark, such an important part of the game. Sometimes if I see a little bit of a crazy action or some strategy where I haven't seen before, I often need to slow down the game and let myself think. But we've all seen Keeper of the Grove with Archers and Ancient of War creeping, and we've all seen Demon Hunters with Archers and the Keeper of the Archers, Demon Hunter, and creeping. So yeah, I can't even say that correctly. Hopefully my mind will fully wake up here in just a moment as the Demon Hunter of XlorD looking to get in a little bit of damage, try to finish off some of those treants. We see good deny by TGW as we saw a bit of mana burn onto the Keeper of the Grove there. He does have a pendant of energy, so that should help out as the Keeper of the Grove wants to, the Demon Hunter wants to go after that lowly Wisp. Should be able to finish it off. Force a cancellation on that Moonwell as the Demon Hunter may try and go for another mana burn here in just a moment. No necessary mana burn just quite yet. There's that level 2. There's the mana burn preventing the entangle. Beautifully done with that split second difference, being able to get enough reaction time to remove 50 mana and stop that entangle there. Coming back down to the south, we're looking at teching the tier 2 by XlorD already started. Meanwhile, TGW just now getting started as well. Ancient of War is off to the front, and both sides have relatively small armies. 4 archers, a couple of archers here, a couple of workers. That's pretty much it. As we're looking at the Demon Hunter perhaps trying to make his way back out. How does he have, how does TGW have 5? Does he have some sort of, oh no, he has a Huntress out onto the battlefield, or training up a Huntress, as we are getting into Ultra Vision now. All right, Huntress out here on the battlefield. Now we are going, 3 archers going up like a Huntress and an Archer, looking to get in a little bit of poke damage back and forth, and the Ultra Vision may actually, or should help TGW out here in the earlier portions of the game, being able to see farther during the nightfall and perhaps keep track of his opponent better. Demon Hunter still with that Boots of Speed, playing a rather annoying harassment game, able to dive, duck, dodge, and weave through all of these locations, but and starting to drain these Moonwells as well. Demon Hunter now making its way back off to the north here. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove has picked up a staff of teleportation for himself and now able to wander around as well. All right, we're just seeing a bit of harassment here while XlorD is sitting on his archers. Demon Hunter, a high armor hero, still playing this harassment game, perhaps waiting to get enough archers and then be able to try and do a bit of level up. The Demon Hunter has to be careful though, down to 142 hit points. Gonna use that Staff of Teleportation now, and all he was really trying to do was buy time. By buying time, he was able to train up a number of archers, and he was also to pull away the Huntresses from allowing that Keeper of the Grove to try and get to further along level 2. I played earlier today, instantly regretted not getting Boots of Speed. Yeah, no, Boots of Speed still a very, very common item as well, even though they are no longer sold out at the shop. boost of speed is an important part of the matchup, as the Demon Hunter going to go ahead and try and engage. There's a Pocket Factory down, and this is some early aggression, as we're going to be looking at the Pocket Factory, well, perhaps getting taken down by all of these treants here in just a moment. Archers are trying to focus down some of the Huntresses, but the Huntresses are shadow melding pretty quickly and early on, as we see a quick reveal right there. All right, reveal trying to, well, was in the dust of appearance across all of those archers. Archers no longer able to shadow meld. Demon Hunter of XlorD now trying to chase back around as well, but we're still looking at 2 level 1 heroes going up against the Keeper of the Grove, and now a Pit Lord as the second hero. All right, so Pit Lord on that second hero is going to try and get some cleave damage in and is able to finish things off there. Perhaps the Pit Lord will try and find a number of archers. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter and the Goblin Tinker working together to perhaps put in some pressure here inside of the Night Elf base. Definitely not what I was expecting here. Normally, the Pocket Factory pressure goes after players who will have to mine from that gold mine, such as humans or peons, exposing them. Instead, we're just looking at a straight destruction of the main building already. Coming back down to the south here, Tree of Ages looking to perhaps try and fight back across here, as we see a Scroll of Town Portal, Hippogriff, Rider now in the air, limited targets to attack it and able to put a little bit of pressure back onto those Huntresses. All right, more Pocket Factory damage here. The Tree of Ages down to, well, was close down to half-life, but it looks like it will be able to head back out of here with no real problem. Goblin Tinker down to 200 hit points. Is it going to get well, no, not going to get entangled. Demon Hunter could be overstaying his welcome, definitely, as he's trying to find a way to sneak out of this position. It looks like this gap just too narrow, as the Demon Hunter going to go ahead and use a Scroll of Town Portal to head back out. All right, forcing a Scroll of Town Portal. XlorD now up 1 Scroll of Town Portal, and are we going to be seeing a bit of repair on that Tree of Ages? That is the question here. Meanwhile, we are looking at more Hippogriffs being trained up, and this could turn into a mass Hippogriff Rider army. Now, the Hippogriff Riders don't deal nearly as, or deal the same amount of damage while they're mounted and not mounted. A nice mid-game, scrappy, no TP used. Yeah, no TP used coming in from XlorD, as there was no real army, and only walking out that Goblin Tinker, and also, well, Staff of Teleporting that Demon Hunter. Now, the big problem is going to be that Goblin Tinker down to nearly dead. They're going to be forced to walk all the way back, perhaps drain those Moonwells, and then the Demon Hunter going to be trying to do a similar thing as well. That Goblin Tinker down to 10 hit points, and now looking to heal back up from these Moonwells. We do not see a Hunter's Hall, so these Moonwells are not at that higher capacity as of yet. One Tree of Ages getting thrown into the mix as well to try and protect against any sort of harassment style. XlorD may just try and shut down this Tree of Ages and make sure that no mining can happen in order to take that advantage. Coming back through, Hippogriff Riders, well, looking to hang around above the tree line here, out of range of that Ancient Protector, and perhaps limit the amount of lumber that TGW can get. So far, this harassment game has, this harassment non-standard game has really taken its toll on TGW. XlorD is just constantly putting pressure, and as long as your units are attacking without taking damage, you are starting to build a bit of a lead. With that air advantage, you can go Chimera. Yeah, Chimeras. Well, Chimeras, you have to get into Tier 3. We'll see if any of these players try to go for Tier 3, as we are looking at TGW there, and then now a Staff of Preservation to try and protect. Hippogriff Riders now trying to back away. You can see Howl of Terror as well, greatly decreasing the amount of damage that those Hippogriff Riders are able to deal. XlorD gets to level 2 on the Goblin Tinker. Demon Hunter will get to level 3 as well on this creep camp. And, well, game is still in anyone's hands to try and take control. Hippogriff Riders 16 to 18 damage per attack. Don't see any additional. Oh, no, there's that Tree of Ages upgrading the Tree of Eternity now as the triple Hippogriff Rider is just pelting the Tree of Ages. It's slowly dealing damage. There is some repairs getting underway as well, as we could be looking into a potential creep jack here. Hippogriff Riders show up trying to put in some pressure. One Huntress will get taken down, trying to just go after those targets there. Huntress is not able to attack the air. My mind is getting a little confused because in WarCraft, in Arclight Rumble, Huntresses are able to attack air, and I almost forgot what I was looking at. Huntresses, well, just absolute sitting ducks against all of these units here as the Hippogriff Riders continuing to just pelt down damage onto the Pit Lord once more. Hippogriff Riders continuing to, well, do their thing, play that harassment game, and cause problems. Meanwhile, Staff of Preservation doing a great job, constantly trying to save these low hit point Dryads. As okay, I was confused for a moment. It says 1 out of 5, even though there are this gold mine is in fact fully saturated. All right, coming back down to the south here. Yep, fully saturated gold mine as well. Is Arclight Rumble any fun? Arclight Rumble is fun. And I'll probably be making another Arclight Rumble video later today as well. I'm highlighting a different hero as I'm going through the game. Anyways, Demon Hunter picking up some items, perhaps no, transferring off to the Goblin Tinker. Goblin Tinker just a little bit shy from level 3, as we have gotten into that medium portion of the game, and still well, no clear winner as of yet, or no clear advantage for either player. 46 compared to 47 supply. Both players at nearing tier 3 or at tier 3 already, as that Goblin Tinker gets to level 3. It's fun until some BS happen. It's still in beta, so anything can happen. That is true. It seems like Blizzard is working very hard on the game. They're constantly releasing additional heroes. There is still some fine tuning, but it doesn't feel like the money grab that Diablo Immortal was obviously obviously a giant money grab. Coming back around, Demon Hunter, Archers, Hippogriffs, and well, and this is going to be interesting as XlorD is just double down or triple down on this mass Hippogriff Rider Archer strategy. Coming back through, we're looking at Dryads, Druids of the Claw, Rejuvenation, and Howl of Terror, and Cleave, as Treants now looking to clear out this 654 creep camp. Meanwhile, down to the south here, our Treant trying to put some pressure on this Tree of Life before it's able to get its fortified armor and, well, do a little bit of lasting damage. Pit Lord sitting at level 3 does have an Orb of Venom. That's incredibly important, as that allows the Pit Lord to actually attack air. What I'm not 100% sure is how does Cleave and Orb of Venom range attack actually work together? I would believe not, as we're looking at the Goblin Tinker now being dropped into here, dropping a Pocket Factory now and attempting to take down this Ancient Protector. All right, there is a Howl of Terror, but only hitting one of the Hippogriffs. It was just out of range here, and it doesn't look like that Cleave is actually attacking multiple targets, even though all those Hippogriff Riders are still fairly close together. Units still trying to retreat back. Scroll of Town Portal inbound to try and, well, or Staff of Teleportation inbound to try and protect the expansion, but it is not going to work, as the expansion will end up getting taken down. Druids of the Claw more than enough, as the Demon Hunter looks to finish off more archers. One is able to be saved, as the other gives level 4 to the Demon Hunter. Back off to the north here. Druids of the Claw, Pit Lord, level 4, level 3, going up against dual level 4 heroes. Pit Lord now with level 2 Howl of Terror, level 2 Cleave. And that Cleave is really not going to be that useful unless those archers, unless he's able to get into the ground against those archers who have a fairly low amount of hit points. At 255, a couple of Cleave strikes from the Pit Lord takes off a majority of that damage, as the archers naturally have a little bit more survivability because of their additional magic resistance, but that Cleave is all physical damage. I believe the only AoE physical damage in the game. Cleave and Orb doesn't stack. Yeah, Pit Lord doesn't proc Cleave, and proc applied. Okay. Single target. Yeah, that's what I thought. Coming back through, coming back through. We see a more invisibility action coming in from the Goblin Tinker to try and cause a bit of problems. And here we are. The Goblin Tinker could actually throw down a bit of Pocket Factory action as well. Staff of Preservation against the Pit Lord. Pit Lord has no way to see up onto that high ground whatsoever, as the main ground army of TGW now simply walking into the base of XlorD. All right, Goblin Tinker is still right here, and we can see there is a Pit Lord nearby trying to prevent any of this action here. As a Staff of Teleportation going to be going back inbound, and Goblin Tinker of XlorD sees exactly what's going on here and says, sure, I will go ahead and try and stop this gold mine now that you teleported back into the fray. XlorD does have the upgraded Moonwells. Demon Hunter should have a big advantage trying to fight next to all these Moonwells here, as we see a detonation. All right, Howl of Terror. That Demon Hunter now trying to retreat back, while Bear is trying to claw apart all of these Moonwells and doing a great job of removing much of the healing, as we're seeing quite a bit of damage here. All right, Hippogriff Rider is able to put in pressure against that one Druid of the Claw, and XlorD is able to put in pressure onto the Tree of Eternity here. All right, Staff of Preservation bringing back the Pit Lord. Are we going to see a Howl of Terror? No Howl of Terror, as that Pit Lord is currently low on mana. Scroll of Town Portal coming back the other way. He could try and drink from those Moonwells. Howl of Terror greatly reduce the amount of damage. I'm not quite sure why he isn't doing exactly that. Repair should be getting under in. TGW may end up losing this Tree of Eternity down to 50 hit points, constantly staying steady there. No Howl of Terror still, as the Hippogriff Rider is still dealing maximum damage, and it was able to be sniped down. TGW, if he had simply used the Howl of Terror, could have greatly reduced the amount of damage that was being done and held on to his main tree. All right, it looks like TGW has no real way of getting any additional mining done at all, as XlorD are just playing this very, very cheeky style of game against TGW. All right, a little bit of damage coming back across here. Huntress is going to go ahead and Shadow Meld, and XlorD is just going to sit back and relax, trying to get up a second base operational and let his economic game take hold. Army size is 33 for XlorD compared to 43 for TGW. TGW has a slight advantage here, but, well, in comes a new Tree of Life. It is purposely being built rather far away from the edges of the forest, as the forest is where a majority of the attacks are coming in from. Pit Lord going to be able to finish things off here. Should have handed the Scroll of Beast over to Tinker. All right, did XlorD proc the Scroll of Beast already? I don't know. No, he did not. It is still sitting right here. Scroll of the Beast is still available, as the TGW not going to try and fight in this location here. All right, quick cancellation, and once more as XlorD's or the Pit Lord's continuing to try and fight this battle here, continuing to slice and dice his way through all of these units. Pit Lord's having a difficult time. He's going to try and Staff of Teleportation out of this sticky situation, as the Goblin Zeppelin will be able to elevator the heroes in and out of this battle if necessary. Coming back around, this is turning into a base race scenario. Who's going to come out ahead, as XlorD could end up losing a number of Hunter's Halls and a number of buildings as well. We can see off to the north here, TGW does have a new building off to the north, but that is going to get pelted down by all of these Hippogriff Riders before it is done. Just a bit too close to all of the action, as a Tree of Life now being built off in the center portion of the map, as we are looking at, I could have sworn there was some building over here. No building. Nope, no building, just a Moonwell right there. All right, this is turning into a true base race scenario. XlorD going to lose another building there, and there are not many buildings left out here onto the battlefield. All right, TGW trying to make his way and perhaps try and defend some of these buildings as well. Having Moonwells is incredibly important as an additional way to stay healed, as a Clockwork Goblin Death takes down a Moonwell. Back down to the south here, Tree of Life getting close to half health, as the Tree Ants are still making their rounds out. The number of buildings absolutely key here. This is turned into a base race of the most epic kind, as Trees of Life are trying to be built in hidden locations, but the added mobility of all of those Hippogriff Riders making a big difference for XlorD being able to perhaps scout out where his opponents is. Druid of the Claw is going to be able to be saved. A Wisp perhaps trying to get in front of that Druid of the Claw. Doesn't want to get attacked, though, as that Druid of the Claw now down to 193 hit points. Staff of Preservation, yes, does teleport it back, well, back home, and he should be able to get a rejuvenation off and then join back onto the battlefield soon. All right, XlorD's Moonwell off over here at the Goblin Laboratory. It could end up being destroyed or could be saved. It is going to come really, really close down to time life of all of these tree ants here. And, well, it does get taken down right before the tree ants dissolve into nothing. Hippogriff Riders continuing to cause problems. You can see Orb of Venom damage over time and that slow poison trying to finish off these Hippogriff Riders still, as well all of the units trying to continue to stay off over here. All right, archers, and well, a battle inside the base here. Staff of Teleportation coming back inbound as the Pit Lord is trying to hold off against all of these units. The Goblin Zeppelin able to drop down so many units here as another Ancient gets destroyed once more. All right, Trees of Life have been placed down. No entangling of the gold mine yet. XlorD could try and entangle here momentarily, but no players' buildings are currently being revealed. All right, another Hunter's Hall about to get taken down. Archer looking to perhaps focus down some of these Hippogriff Riders. There is a Shadow Meld. Pit Lord doesn't have quite enough range to catch up to those Hippogriff Riders, as XlorD is just dancing on the outskirts. 35-0. There is some Wisps out here onto the battlefield, as the Tree Ants are now going to go ahead and perhaps try and take down this Tree of Life. This Tree of Life has been spotted out now, as a building after building is, well, in a bit of trouble. Earlier on, we saw the Tree of Eternity not actually, or cancel its Nature's Blessing upgrade. That Nature's Blessing upgrade could potentially be huge, as that would give 5 additional armor to all of these fortified ancients, and that would have been a big deal against all of this piercing damage. All right, coming back through, Pit Lord trying to fight back here. Orb of Venom going after all of these units here. Pit Lord perhaps trying to take down some of those Hippogriff Riders, but the Hippogriff Riders have plenty of hit points, and with level 1 weapons upgrade, able to, well, take down these Ancients just because they are unchallenged. Ancients attacking down the Tree of Life. No real reason to, well, finish things off here, as more damage still being pressed on through. All right, coming back through, Archer continuing to poke the Ancient of War, and that's going to get taken down. Is this the last building? There is a Moonwell here, and here is a Tree of Life slowly walking around the map. There is also a Tree of Life by XlorD trying to entangle this gold mine here. No longer going to be doing that. He's going to go ahead and, well, hide himself in the forest. All right. XlorD, knowing that it is difficult to spot a tree in the forest, trying to hide himself as the army of TGW is now inbound. All right, Ancient's going to go ahead, or no, XlorD now picking up all of these units here. We are looking at this Tree of Life trying to be rooted. Took a bit of damage, down to 690 hit points, and you can see the Hippogriff Riders able to freely attack that Pit Lord while trying to take down a Dryad there. Dryad, however, had rejuvenation and is still going to stay alive. All right, this Ancient going to be hiding itself off to the side, may not get spotted at all, as the Hippogriff Riders now look to retreat back. This one Tree of Life perhaps needs to eat a couple of trees to try and stay alive, as the Hippogriff Riders look to take down the Goblin Zeppelin again. Hi, Night Mist, how you doing? All right, this has gone into a bit of a crazy game. Hippogriff Riders trying to pelt things down here. You can see that this Tree of Life slowly making its way into the forest, trying to hide to keep the army alive. Remember, if you have no more buildings, then you lose the game. Even if you have a larger army. Coming back through, well, Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 4, Pit Lord sitting at level 4, trying to escort this Tree of Life into a position where it can actually start mining gold. TGW only has 1 Wisp. I'm not quite sure where it is on the battlefield, but he does have 1 Wisp somewhere on the map, and should be able to perhaps get things going again. And he will, is it hiding it? No, not hiding it in the Zeppelin. Not quite sure where it is. Nope, he doesn't have a wisp. I take it back. XlorD is the one with the wisp. So this Tree of Life has no way of getting any mining until some of his own units are destroyed and taken down. All right, this Tree of Life still continuing to push his way into the forest. Now, if you lose all the buildings, you lose the game. That's ridiculous. I thought you win the game by making your opponent type GG. Nope. That is usually what happens most of the time. People give up. Yes. Nope. Saying GG doesn't necessarily mean that you win the game. As they were looking at the keeper, the growth now making its way back across to the side. All right, coming back here, Treant's looking to take down this Altar of Elders. Altar of Elders, this Tree of Life sitting right here, 27 supply compared to 35. Both sides having an ancient, both sides having relatively similar size armies. One side with dryads. The bears, however, could easily start rejuvenating, get more hit points, and that may be the recovery aspect. Yeah, they type GG usually when they're down to one building, or when they've lost all of their heroes. Oftentimes, at least in Warcraft 3, losing all of your heroes is enough reason to type GG, and you rarely have a fighting chance. All right, Tree of Life looking, well, constantly getting pelted here. Nope, gonna go ahead and root in order to get that fortified armor. Meanwhile, this ancient is still, well, trying to hide himself and has done a great job doing exactly that. Where is that last building? There's that Hunter's Hall here, a couple of Altar of Elders and a Hunter's Hall. And you got to remember, TGW knows that there is a hidden Tree of Life somewhere on the map, and that's the reason why his opponent is not being revealed. And meanwhile, this Tree of Life is actually being brought into the battle. This is almost like escorting the mothership in classic sci-fi novels. If the mothership goes, well, then you lose the game. But if your mothership is actually your strongest and weakest and most important building overall, so they're going to be trying to make his way out here onto the battlefield. This Tree of Life is rooted, so it has fortified armor, meaning the piercing damage and the heroic damage of the heroes and those hippogriff riders are not going to be dealing much damage at all. Last building here going to get destroyed. Archers looking to perhaps get into that Goblin Zeppelin here, as the Hippogriff Riders do have fast movement speed. Going to see a quick rejuvenation there to keep that Dryad alive. All right, Druids of the Claw purposely staying in Druid form in order to regenerate a bit of mana, so rejuvenation is available when the time comes. Tree of Life just still holding right here. What is going to end up happening? Clockwork Goblins now being used to try and put pressure, and we're looking at the army coming from the other side. A beautiful Zeppelin drop. There's level 5 now on the Goblin Tinker. That was a total head fake there, placing down the Pocket Factory and then using the Goblin Zeppelin to come in and flank the other side, catching a Druid of the Claw while he was in Druid form. One mana burn, taking massive damage there and absolutely getting sniped down. All right, Demon Hunter using this Goblin Zeppelin play, going back and forth. There's another mana burn onto the Keeper of the Grove. The Demon Hunter could try and get to level 5 here, trying to go after all these treants. There's a good use of that Howl of Terror finally, as that Howl of Terror greatly reduces the amount of damage the archers are dealing, pretty much nullifying that roar. Staff of Preservation saves the Druid of the Claw temporarily. Is he going to end up being able to walk away? Yes, he is. He is trying to just run and hide, and now continuing to absorb a bit of damage. Is that Druid of the Claw going to accidentally spot the opening in the forest line? No, it is not. And that is the game. XlorD playing as Night Elf, able to hide a tree in the forest and get the victory. XlorD just wanted to play with fire, that's all. Yeah, beautiful use and beautiful micro by XlorD, and a great strategy there, using that Goblin Zeppelin to move around TGW's army. Once it had pivoted to try and deal with that pocket factory, it had exposed find the weakest link. There was a Druid of the Claw in Druid form, quickly got focused down, mana burn, dead, giving level 5 to the Goblin Tinker, and from there, XlorD was able to build up enough momentum. Eventually, he would have gotten to level 5, or he did get to level 5 on his Demon Hunter as well. And once that is the case, you're able to keep not only the heroes in check with their mana, but also those Druids of the Claw, and that was just a bit too much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.